cloudy skies, only sunshine. It's pure joy looking in your eyes. You made me believe in me. You're my everything. Is this real love? It must be more powerful than a drug, giving me such a buzz, falling and I can't get up. It must be, it must be, it must be, it must be. We had attraction.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the 30 Days of I Owe Me Challenge. How are you? I decided to open up with my song. Yes, that's my song. I am a singer-songwriter, but that's my baby singing. Must Be Love. We have to get back or even start practicing self-love, wanting to get on the live on all my devices. So let me make sure that I have all of that. Give a couple folks a chance to get in here. This is day 12, you all. This is huge for me. Oh my gosh. Huge for me. I have never live streamed this many days in a row, like ever. So, whew, I'm doing a big thing. Doing a big thing. So welcome. If this is your first time joining me, come on in. And this is day 12, every day for 30 days. I am going live. The purpose of the challenge is to inspire. The initial challenge was to inspire women, empower and inspire women in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships through heart set, mindset, and skill set elevations. The sweet spot, that intersection of heart set, mindset, and skill set elevation is where true growth happens. And so many people are very narrowly focused, if focused at all, on their true personal growth and personal well-being. I opened it up to the general public because so many people are hurting, so many people are struggling, not just women need this information. So here we go. If you're on here, give me a share. Tell somebody to jump in. This is going to be a conversation that I never really do. I am a real estate broker. I have multi-state licenses. I'm fooling around with this camera because it's bugging me. I have multiple state licenses, but people who know I'm a real estate agent as well as a podcast host always ask me, is my podcast about real estate? The answer is no, it is not about real estate. However, I do have a wealth of information and I want to dig into some of that. I was inspired to do this topic tonight because I happened to be on YouTube scrolling and I saw a clip of the regular podcast. Great information over there. That guy is real thorough in his interviews and his content. But he was talking about the real estate market. And it got me to thinking, like, I never share real estate knowledge. So here we go. We're going to talk about real estate tonight. People always ask me, is this a good time to buy? My answer will forever and always be yes. So you don't have to ask me that. While you have my time and attention, ask me something meaningful. Okay? It's always yes. It's always a good time to buy, especially if you don't have any property already. If you are a tenant, it is always beyond time for you to purchase because you're paying a mortgage, just not yours. Hmm. Okay, so let's get into ownership. Let's get into um, all the things that can help to strengthen and fortify our wealth position. The things that we typically spend money on don't do anything to support that. They don't support our growth. You buying the clothes, the bags, the shoes, taking trips, popping bottles, eating extravagant meals, none of that will sustain your life. And if God forbid you have anything catastrophic happen in your life that your income changes, you might have a smaller window than you think to start to build that wealth. And my mission is always to build a legacy and make an impact. So we need to really be thinking about the things that we do, the things that we spend money on. And real estate is one that will always be a good investment. I am still not seeing my live on YouTube. Let me know where you're tuned in from, please, and thank you. I would love to know where anybody who is on here is tuned in from. Drop me a comment, give me a share, put this out there. If you're on Facebook, most definitely share this to your page. My stuff is set to always public, so anybody can see this. I'm going to do something that I never do, and that's talk some statistics. Whew. So I hope I present it in a way that does not bore you, because stats can be challenging to present in a conversational manner. Nope, it's not showing up on YouTube. I don't know why. All right. Got all the things. If you're on Instagram, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Instagram has been one of the strongest platforms during the challenge where people are tuning in. So thank you. Thank you so very much. If you have been missing the first 11 days, go back to YouTube, the Blowing Bubbles podcast on YouTube. You'll see an orange, green, and yellow background and a lady with a big afro blowing a bubble. That is my YouTube channel. You can go back and watch all of the previous days, day 1 through 11. We've had a lot of different things covered. So yeah, I encourage you to go back. I encourage you to follow this in sequence, especially when it comes to the vision mapping exercise. I coach off of the premise, the scripture, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. Well, last year I had a young lady who did not have a vision for her life. And it made me think, how can I help people who really don't have a vision to get clarity for their lives, their children's lives? You know, you're not going to break generational curses if you don't have generational aspirations. She had no aspiration. She felt hopeless. And I really wanted to help this young lady. When I say baby girl is thriving. One day I'm going to ask her to come on because she's really doing good things right now. So I want to have that real life testimony. I got a bunch of testimonies, but she was probably my biggest growth. I'm going to call that a growth spurt. And I'm so proud of her. She's ever tuning in. I'm so proud of you. You know who you are. All right, let's get to this information. Real estate in Metro Atlanta, around the country, has been very tumultuous the last few years. Chaotic, crazy. It's been a roller coaster, but we experienced a mostly upward trend if you follow data. 10 years ago, you could pretty much buy a quadruplex for $100,000. Now you can't buy a condo in Metro Atlanta for $100,000. While prices are, and I watch prices very closely, I watch the inventory. I've never had a conversation with an agent who knows the inventory around Atlanta better than me. And I don't just know it by what's on the internet. I physically go to properties, I tour neighborhoods. I'm boots on the ground, like literally in this real estate game. Nobody not, I won't say nobody, but a lot of the information that is just surface level isn't really educating and informing you. It's a good time to buy, even though interest rates are higher. Understand that 5 years ago, interest rates went down drastically low because we were in a global pandemic and all markets were crashing. The government did some things to stimulate economic growth, and it got people to buying. Well, in that time, although we had a lot of people wanting to buy because we had 2% prime interest rates, the inventory was so low. A person, let's say I wanted to sell my house, but we're in a pandemic. I don't want a bunch of people coming through my house. So people were afraid to list their house. Then when the frenzy started to stir up, it was a very conscious thing that if I sell my house, where am I going? So it made the inventory even more tight and restrictive. People were not willing to sell. If they didn't have the money to purchase something before they listed, they were afraid to list because every house was getting, like when I did a lot of listings 2020 to 2022. Man, people were not, they were afraid to list, but people were not getting less than 20 offers on their house, which, if you understand the laws of supply and demand, prices sharply increased. Now, another anomaly happened during this same time period. Not only did we have a global pandemic, but we had a major surge in investor traffic. Investors were coming in, and some of them were not the rental. Okay, I just got a text. Somebody just let me know I'm not showing up on YouTube. It shows that I'm live from my end. Dagnabbit, I don't like that. One moment, please. Okay, if you heard that reverb, when I click on YouTube, it shows on YouTube. All right, we're going to keep going on. At the very least, I will I'll upload this to YouTube when I'm done. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to need a tech person like so bad. This is insane. Still saying I'm having Instagram issues. Man, listen, this is what it is. I am going to continue going forward. I've said it before during this challenge. I've been giving information away to people that I know need the information. My guests will be giving information away to people that need it. But what I needed more was an exercise in consistency. So no matter what's going on, I'm going to come on every night until this thing is over. So you got me until close to the end of the month. Let's go. It's on Facebook and it's on Instagram. So you can tune in. My name, Karana Hosey. You can find it. It's public. Go to your page and share. Please and thank you. Lost my train of thought. Okay, the hedge funds came in to buy up inventory to rent. But there were other large corporate investors who, like Divvy, and there were a couple companies. I can't remember the other ones. Divvy was a big one. Divvy was backing. It was like a rent to own type program where you were supposed to be able to rent from Divvy for 3 years and then buy out your contract. Well, how Divvy did their buyers a disservice is buying the property, waiving appraisals. So if I make enough money to get approved for a $400,000 FHA mortgage, Divvy would approve me for a $400,000 purchase. Without having the appraisal clause, Divvy would approve me to purchase any house up to $400,000. So because there was this frenzy generated by low inventory during the global pandemic, people were taking their $400,000 approval going into a $250,000 neighborhood, and just, if they found a house that they halfway liked because they really wanted to buy, they would just buy that house, and that falsely inflated the value of the rest of the neighborhood. So only takes one similar house within a either the same subdivision or within, we like to go with under 2 miles. For sure, under 2 miles, same composition. So same number of beds, baths, type of house. If it's a 1-story house, we compare it with 1 stories, 2 stories, basements, garage. All of these things are calculated into the comparable data to set value against a sold property. So once Divvy buyers started to drive up the price because they were tired of getting outbid, they would go to a lower priced home and overpay because they were approved and they didn't have the appraisal requirement. Then you got the hedge funds who came in with cash, and they were paying not only cash, but they were overpaying. They would go, and I'm talking about, I've written contracts for $30,000 to $50,000 over list price during this time period. A regular buyer just couldn't compete. Now, the thing with Divvy, I believe they kind of collapsed. The company went bankrupt or something. It was a very bad business model, in my opinion. That is what drove inflation in real estate. And it was not only Atlanta. These companies were nationwide. This is why I have so many different licenses, because the oh, I know what happened. I'm broadcasting on the wrong YouTube channel. Go to my Karana Hosey page. Daggone it. Yeah, so that is what started the rapid inflation of real estate property values. It becomes an assumed value when you have actual sold properties at a certain price point. So when it comes to, and the people's incomes did not increase as drastically and rapidly as the price of housing. So a lot of people were forced to sit it out and wait, because if they waited, then they couldn't afford it. Even when interest rates went up and prices started to level off, now you still can't afford it because prices did not come down as fast as they went up. So, forgive me, I am working to get YouTube on the to verify that my YouTube is, and it is live on my other channel. Okay. So on the Karana Hosey Instagram page, or I'm sorry, YouTube page, there it is. All right. I'd appreciate if you give me some YouTube love, but the remainder of the challenge is on the Blowing Bubbles podcast YouTube channel. So that's a little bit of the backstory on what sparked the nationwide frenzy. It started with the pandemic. You started with the rent to own buyers from these, it was 2 or 3. There was Trio, Divvy, and one more. Rent to own corporations. And then there was the corporate institutional buyers. They buy to rent. Toward the end of 2022, I believe it was in October when it happened, there was a meeting of the minds from very large builder across the country and one of these large institutional buyers. They partnered up, and now this builder builds their houses to rent for that institutional buyer. So a lot of people are being funneled to renting. There is still inventory. Inventory now is so much higher, like so much higher. In 2022, I can remember there were only, in the entire state of Georgia, there were only about 12,000 active listings, and that was across all property types. All property types. Like right now, let me see, active listings in the state of Georgia, just active residential, 38,989. It was a third of that 3 years ago, which led to inflated prices. So understand you are in a much, much better position to get a property, not pay list price, get a deal. Don't worry about the interest rate being 6%, 7%, whatever it is. When I bought my first house, I paid 8.1% interest rate and still paid it off early, way 8 years. So purchase the house, get it under list price, and start building equity, because you will not get any equity if you're renting. You're not. And I have a rent to own program that is nothing like the ones that drove up prices. You will have to go through an appraisal on that property. You will get your name on the deed from day one. So you have 10 years, not 3 years. You can have as low as a 500 credit score. You can have bank statement situations. So if you are self-employed and you don't have 2 years of tax returns on your business, but you came out the gate and you're crushing it, and you made $100,000 this year on your business, they will look at that. They will consider that, and you can possibly do this rent to own program. So make sure you DM me if you have any desires to buy a house. And that program is nationwide. And yes, I can get you registered no matter where you are in the 48 contiguous states of this country. It does have to be owner occupied. You can't do it on investment properties. If you try to do it and you're going to Airbnb the property and you don't live there, that is mortgage fraud. And yes, they do come after you. And yes, you will get way more time. You'll think you caught a body. So don't play the game. Understand, they watch. I don't know how, I don't know why, and I don't care. I just know that they do. All right. So I want to give you some of this data for Metro Atlanta, because that is where I have practiced most. And man, the numbers are still staggering to me. I know that a lot of areas, especially out in more rural counties, prices are coming down faster. Some areas are not coming down as fast, they're actually increasing, like Fayette County. And when you're dealing with an agent, and I'll tell everybody this, and it's not just because it's me, you need to be with an agent like me. Oh, you need to be with me. I I actually know so much about the market and I educate my clients. I don't just tell you, oh, that's just what it costs over here. I'll tell you why, and I'll give you options and alternatives if you still want to be close to a certain area, but you can't quite afford that area. And I'll tell you what's coming so that you can plan. And like if you like a house that's on a road that's maybe close to a busy road, I'm like, yeah. So the planning and zoning, the county is planning to widen that road. They're going to take half of your front yard if you move on this street. Don't do it, or consider it before you do it. Um, Fayette County is still experiencing extreme hyper growth because Trilith Studios is booming. You can find, I've shown 2-bedroom houses, and they do make some 2-bedroom houses. They'll have 4,000 square feet, but there'll be a 2-bedroom house. Most of it is like entertaining space. Trilith is a major movie studio here in America. Let me turn my ringer off. Trilith is a major movie studio, so everything built around there, super expensive. Everything in Fayetteville, stable and steadily growing. Prices are not coming down in Fayetteville like that. Now, inventory is sitting longer, but it's not coming down like it is in much of the metro Atlanta area. So if you want to live in Fayetteville, you can get more high. Everybody got yard, unless you lived in the Trilith complex. And if you haven't been there, do yourself a favor, spend a day, explore. It is so amazing. It's similar to Atlantic Station, but the Fayetteville version. Live, work, play type situation. Everything is there. The movie studios across the street. They've got medical. They've got restaurants, shops, movies. They have everything there. They have a little park. There's not just apartments and condos, but they have single family houses built right there. The movie studio built this whole development. It's a total master plan community to serve the people that they used to have to house to make movies. Since Georgia gave all these movie makers so many incentives, they started building major studios here. So all of the production people had to come here. All of the actors had to have a place to stay. So Fayetteville, that place is stable. Prices aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Trilith is booming, and I love it. I would live there in a heartbeat. But I'm going to go alphabetically because that's how I got my list. Cobb County, 2024, 593 homes were sold. Average list price, $587,000. 2025, average sold 676, 599 average list price. It actually went up in Cobb County. What do we have in Cobb County? The Braves. So knowing and understanding the area will help you to understand the pricing and what you're going to get. Now, this is single family residential. But Cobb County currently has 697 active listings, average list price $293,000. So it drastically decreased. Dang, I didn't look at the numbers. Yes, it drastically decreased. They have more active listings right now in Cobb County than they had sold all year so far. Interesting. There's 216 under contract at average price $316,000 in Cobb County. So that tells me something. Cobb County's value is holding strong. if the average list price on current actives is 293,000, but the average under contract is 316,000, you might not want to shop in Cobb County if you want to get a deal. They're still holding strong. What's Clayco doing? Clayco has way less properties. 2024, 183 homes in Clayton County sold. Average list price was 268,000. Average sold price was 262. So they sold a little bit less in 2022 than the list price. 2025, they're sitting at 177 sold so far, with the average list price of $299. And the sold price at $290. So they're not selling. The gap is very narrow. Current actives, 1841. Last year, they sold a total of 183. Do you understand the math on that? There's 1,841 active listings in Clayton County right now. And last year, all they sold was 183. Wow. Average list price, $651. Current under contract, $419. And average under contract price, $594,000. Interesting. Now, there's a big gap in average list price versus average under contract, about $60,000. So I would love to keep watch on that statistic. That's very interesting to me. 2024 in DeKalb County, 509 homes sold with average list price $571,000. 2025, 567. Oh, I'm sorry. The average sold price in DeKalb was $567,000. 2025, already 599 sold. So halfway through the year, we've already surpassed what was sold all of 2024. But active listings in DeKalb County is 2,533. Average list price $455,000. Active under contract is 500 homes. Average under contract price $446,000. Wow. So it's correcting, but it's, even though prices are coming down, the trend seems to be that it's not as big of a gap as it would seem. What has drastically increased is a very sharp gap in active listings year over year, to go from 509 active listings a year ago to 2,533 is significant. Very significant. Douglas County, which is Douglasville, it's a little west of the city of Atlanta, just past Six Flags. You, again, like Fayetteville, you get a lot more land out there. Taxes are much more friendly than Fulton County. 136 homes sold in Douglas County in 2024. 2024, the reason that the numbers are so low, people were really scared. The interest rates were around 8. People were still not sure, and they kept waiting. People were thinking there's going to be a crash. There's not going to be a crash. I don't suspect we will ever have the same type of crash we had in 2008. Just too many safeguards in place from the government for that to happen. But Douglasville had 136 in 2024. Average list price $367,000. Average sold 362. So they were starting to get lower sales prices than their list price. 2025, 150 already sold, average price sold 368,000. Now their inventory is not as strong as, say, a DeKalb County. There's 637 active listings at 435 active. And I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon. But current under contract 175 with the average under contract price 363,000. Got to get to Fulton, which is the city of Atlanta. Fulton County has 688 sold in 2024. Average list price 743,000. Average sold price 734,000. That was 2024. 2025, we had 782 sold so far. Average sale price 716,962. The cost of living in Atlanta, and this is by county. So Fulton County is the Atlanta is the biggest population in Fulton County. It's going to be harder and harder to break into the market in Fulton County. If you don't get in and you want to be in the city, it's going to be harder and harder. You got to consider what's happening. Follow the data. Don't listen to me. Follow the data. If you want a house in Atlanta, don't say I didn't tell you. I'm not steering. I'm not blockbusting. I'm telling you what the data says by county. Atlanta is looking strong. So average solds so far in 2025 is $717,000 basically. That is mind blowing. Let me see. Current active listings in Fulton County is 3,370. Average list price $827,000. So even though the first half of the year we were closing at average 717,000, they're still running that math up. There's 619 of that 3,300 currently under contract. Average 676,000. Man, if y'all don't buy this real estate, I'm not going to continue with the data because my brain hurts. I have never done that. So this is a first for me. I am pushing myself in all ways. I love interpreting the data, but compiling it is just like, oh. So this is a big deal for me. I love learning new things. I love sharing new things, but I want you to understand when you're talking to an agent, I don't care what jurisdiction you are in, when you're talking to an agent, ask your agent for the data. Ask your agent to explain the data. Ask your agent to explain the reasoning behind certain shifts. If your agent isn't on top of what is happening in an area, if they are not aware of current events, politics that drive change, some counties in some areas the planning and zoning commissioner is an elected official. You got to pay attention to stuff like this. If that person's agenda includes selling to developers who are going to put Dollar Trees and package stores on every corner, well, you have to follow that, and you have to understand and be aware of it so that you can know if this is an area that's going to support your lifestyle. There is, and you have to be aware of HOAs. If you buy in an HOA, that is very important. You got to know the covenants. Read the covenants before you go under contract so that you don't end up wasting money, losing earnest money, anything. Some HOAs don't allow parking on the street. If you're a family that has multiple drivers in the house, you have to be aware of that. If your driveway is not long enough for 9 cars, you can't park on the street. They will fine you. Some of them fine crazy amounts per day. Per day. So you have to be aware of that. If you're a business owner and you have a work truck and it has writing on the outside, many HOAs do not allow those vehicles to be outside. If you can't fit that work truck in your garage, you can't take it home at night. Knowing these type of things will save you. If you go under contract and you don't learn that until after your due diligence period expires, you lose your earnest money deposit. It could be $5,000. You ready to lose $5,000 and you still haven't bought a house? So having the right agent matters, and not getting into something thinking that because the house is on Zillow and you can go straight to the listing agent or for sale by owner, that you can handle this yourself. You're savvy. There's a whole lot of pitfalls and booby traps that you can get tripped up on. Work with a professional. Understand that this is not something that you want to do by yourself. All right. But real estate is always a good thing. You just have to know what you are doing, be clear on what you want, and work with a professional. There are also rent-to-own programs. There is one rent-to-own program that I highly advocate. I have that program. I will represent it until they stop or I drop. The end. I love it. I vetted it. I am helping people to get into homes. You have 10 years to refinance out of that. If you don't meet the barrier at that 10-year mark, they will give you a 15-year extension. You heard me, a 15-year extension to get it right. If after that 15 years you still haven't gotten your stuff together to get a traditional mortgage, guess what they'll do? They'll let you do a mortgage assumption and you just buy out the last 5 years and you ride it out and you own the house. So it's a win-win. They have thought of everything. I have never seen anything like this. And on the flip side, if you buy the house, buy/rent the house and you're the tenant and it's year 2 and you see hyper growth in your neighborhood and you say, you know what, I'm going to capitalize on this equity. I want to sell the house. You can sell that house because your name is on the deed from day one. You sell the house, you own the equity. You own the equity. So man, nationwide, y'all hit me up with this program. I'm really excited about this. I also am a strong advocate for people buying land. Buy some land, man. I am ready to start. I haven't sold like a farm or an agriculturally zoned property yet. I am so looking forward to that. I want to sell somebody 50 acres, 100 acres with a house, without a house, with a lake, whatever, and help you to create a plan that makes it make you money. There are creative finance ways. There are ways that you can go about talking to the seller, getting seller financing. You're going to need to have a plan. You're going to need to have some money. You're going to need to have options to make creative financing work most of the time. If there's a distressed homeowner, they might just go for it. You just never know. I'm here to keep talking about it. I want to see more people get land though. That's the play that I'm looking for. I want a garden. I want a rose garden, not just a rose. I want a flower garden as well as a vegetable garden. And I want some fruit trees. I want my grandbabies to come to Nana's house and like see how food grows, see where food comes from. I want to contribute to the earth, not just take away from it. I don't want to go to the grocery store anymore and get food that has chemicals in it that's polluting my body. I want to know where it comes from. I don't want to have to avoid eggs and chicken because it's pumped up with all kind of gunk and junk. I want to know that my eggs are fresh, that my chicken is healthy, that it wasn't living in a 20 by 20 pen with 5,000 other chickens and fighting for space, and they pumped it with steroids so the legs are broken. If you buy a chicken from the grocery store and the leg is broken already and it looks like bruising, is bloody on the leg, that chicken was living in bad conditions. Pay attention when you go pick up your meat. Buy responsibly sourced meat if you're going to buy it from the grocery store. But I want chickens. I don't want any other livestock, but I want some chickens. I want to harvest my own eggs. Yeah, I'm ready for that life. I'm settled. I'm chilling. I think that I have talked enough. I really was hoping that people would have some questions. Nobody has asked any questions. I want to educate people, but I need to know what people need to know. I gave a bunch of data, and I have access to data nationwide. I just need to know what somebody needs to know. So I gave a baseline so that people can understand what drove the prices up, why they are stabilizing. And one of the things about the stabilization of prices, interest rates did come down a little bit, but the hedge funds, the companies that went on a mad frenzy purchasing all these houses overpriced, not appraising them, these companies have now shifted to disposition, which means they're disposing of their inventory. On one hand, it's good because they need the capital and they'll be more flexible because their houses, once they list them, have been sitting on the market 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. Like they're just not willing to pay for them because they still want top dollar, even though they've made money on the overinflated rents over the last 5 years, but they still want top dollar for that house. You can get a good deal on these houses now. And working with me, I definitely have the advantage because I know how they talk, think, and move. I know the playbook, literally. So holla at your girl. They're dumping their inventory. So the market will be flooded because a lot of them, if you look like in Georgia, most of them have a standard like language block that they put in all listings, and it'll say the same thing. If you start to look at, even if you're looking on a site like Zillow or Redfin or Trulia, and you start to see the same language in each house that you look at in the description, it's one of those sellers rather, the institutional guys. I wish I had one pulled up, but they say the same thing in every listing. That's how you know it's one of them. And you'll be able to see they have the same carpet, the same LVP flooring, the same gray paint, same white trim in every house. They put the same roof on. It's like they have a giant warehouse and distribution center with all the same building products. And I've sold houses to them where it was a house that was recently or newly renovated, and they would go in and rip everything out and make it standard. So you'll see it. You can almost see it from across the dang street. So now is a great time to take advantage of that pivot in their business model. So the rent to own companies of the past are in the past, and the one that I'm rocking with is a bank-backed program. So it's not necessarily a big program name like Divvy. Everybody knew Divvy. This is a bank that decided they wanted to be able to offer more housing options to every homeowner, everyone who desires to be a homeowner. So yeah, let's go. Let's get it. Let's buy some houses. Let's buy some land. I'm going to have attorney Mary Hart on next week. She's going to talk about trusts and estate planning, and she'll help you learn how to put all of your assets in the best protective vehicle. So make sure you tune in. The challenge, let me see, I can pull up the schedule so you'll know what's coming up. We have Sunday Soul Work is tomorrow. I can't wait to see how that goes. Ooh, wait a minute, what's today? Today is Friday. Tomorrow is okay. I don't know what I'm talking about tomorrow. How about that? We're gonna figure it out, and we'll figure it out. Sunday is Soul Work. One of my minister friends is coming on, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that. Whatever she wants to talk about. Monday is forgiveness. Free yourself to move forward with clarity, peace, and power. July 7th is business development. And I'm not going to go through the schedule. There's a whole schedule on IOMeChallenge.com. I want you to understand I put a lot of time and energy and thought and resources into this challenge. I'm bringing the relationships to the table. I'm giving people something tangible, something, and I'm not charging you for anything. Some of my guests have programs. They will present their programs if they have one. But listen, everybody that's going to come on this platform is somebody who I know, like, and trust, and they are doing the thing. They didn't just pick up a book yesterday and start charging somebody today. These women are tried, and yes, they're all women. They are tried and true. And I know that they have what you need. Make sure you are sharing this thing. Share it, because even though right now it's just me talking, I've had one guest that did credit. A couple days ago, we talked about relationships. That was a live one. But next week, this is going into week 3. Man, we are going to have back to back guests. So you're going to want to not miss the rest of this challenge. Okay, make sure go on the Blowing Bubbles Podcast YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I go live. You won't miss it. It'll be there, and you can always easily go back to it when I'm having a guest. Whether I'm not having a guest or not, I want you to make sure you're tuned in. Subscribe, share, watch those old episodes of Blowing Bubbles Podcast. There are some really, really good interviews, some very inspirational people that I have met and had conversations with on camera. And if there is something that you want to learn, something that you have been struggling with, something that you need to overcome, and you just don't know where else to turn, I swear I believe I have a resource, I have some knowledge, or I can point you in the direction, or we can just talk through it. We might have somebody who's in the audience who will tap in and say, hey, I can help them. So engage with me. Let's figure it out. I don't know why I have this strong desire to make this impact, but I do. I know it's my calling, and I'm going to do it, whether it's just me here talking to me. Okay. It is after 8 o'clock. I have done a full hour, and most of it was me talking data. Ooh, I am proud of myself. Give yourself credit for the things that you do. Continue to show up for yourself. Look at the little wins as big wins. Every win matters. Today was a win for me, just showing up and doing something I've never done, and that is statistics. I despise it, didn't like it in college, and I still don't like it, but my business requires me to understand it. Hopefully, I had enough clarity in what I was saying that you understand that the numbers are shifting. If you didn't understand, feel free to hit me up. Maybe we can have a more specific conversation so I can help you understand something specific. I'm always here, always available. Let's talk. Okay? I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Go out there, be great. On purpose, make somebody smile, and know that you matter. Okay? Bye. Have a beautiful evening and be safe out there, y'all. Okay.